everyone, my name is Martika Foster and I am here to talk to you about a very important issue today, social media addiction. So, have you ever picked up your phone to just check one thing and then you realize an hour later that you are still scrolling? Imagine that this candle represents your attention and energy. Every time you check your phone, compare yourself to someone else online, or scroll for hours, it's like burning that flame until there's nothing left. That's perfect, thank you. This is our focus and our energy, okay? So, most of us do use social media every day, but if we're honest, many of us feel drained, distracted, or even anxious because of it. Understanding the effects of social media addiction can help us take back control of our time, attention, and well-being. As someone who has struggled to create boundaries with social media myself, I have researched this topic and found both data and spiritual insight that can help us all find freedom. So, that brings me to the thesis of my speech, which is, social media addiction is a real and growing problem, but it can be overcome in a God-honoring way by establishing digital boundaries and renewing our minds in God's truth. So, first I'll show you that social media is a serious problem and then explain the causes behind it, and finally offer a redemptive solution that honors God. Excuse me. Main point 1. So, what evidence shows that social media addiction affects well-being? The American Psychological Association researchers have stated that screen overuse can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and poor sleep. And I have noticed that when I'm not practicing mindfulness with my social media use, I may stay up later than normal, scrolling and engaging with it, and this leads to a lack of sleep, stress, and anxiety for me. In a 2018 research survey, 54% of teens said that they spend too much time on their phones. I think that anyone in the room who may be a teenager can vouch that teenagers tend to spend too much time on their phones without intending to. Now, spiritually, it can distract us from our relationship with God, creating noise that drowns out His voice. I personally experienced this when I use social media too much. Clearly, the effects are serious, but to address them, we need to understand what is driving this behavior underneath the surface. So, what causes social media addiction? Platforms are designed to keep users hooked through endless scroll and notifications. That is from the Center of Humane Technology. Social comparison and fear of missing out increase depression and anxiety, especially in teens. And lastly, without discipline, it is easy to let social media become an idol that consumes all of your time and your focus and makes you question your identity. Thankfully, there is a redemptive solution. So that brings me to main point 3, which is, what is the solution to social media addiction? Barna Group encourages tech Sabbaths to recenter our lives around spiritual practices. A tech Sabbath just means you're taking a break from social media for a while. This has proven effective for me in the past. I will sometimes take breaks from all social media, anywhere from a week to 3 months at a time, and each time I feel better afterwards and more centered in my prayer life. And Romans 12:2 tells us to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and stepping away from digital noise makes space for that. And 1 Corinthians 6:12 reminds us, I will not be mastered by anything, and that includes social media and being obsessed with it. So, creating screen-free times, uninstalling addictive apps, and filling that space with scripture, worship, and rest can reignite your flame. I also do this and take breaks, and I uninstall apps such as Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and it makes it easier to disengage with them. And then I just replace that time that I would spend scrolling with listening to worship, reading my Bible, and praying. So, our summary here is that social media addiction is harming us. It causes both emotional, and the causes are both emotional and digital. But by seeking godly boundaries and renewing our minds, we can find freedom and peace. This week, I challenge you to set a time limit on your favorite app. Just one. Replace that time with 15 minutes of prayer or scripture and watch what happens to your peace. So, next time you start to feel burned out by social media, just imagine the peace of being fully present again with God, with others, and with yourself. Just like this candle, our focus can burn out if we don't protect it. But God invites us to live in the light. not in the harsh glare of a screen, but in the soft and gentle light of His presence. Thank you for listening.